Hey, you should do Blaseball. Blaseball has taken the internet by storm. And more importantly, it's taken my heart by storm, which is why I want you to do Blaseball with me. So in this video, I'm gonna answer 3 important questions that you probably have about Blaseball. Why should you do Blaseball? How do you do Blaseball? And probably the most important question, what is do Blaseball? In fact, we'll start with that one. And what is do Blaseball? So, Blaseball is a sport. Simply put, it's a baseball betting simulator. You go on there, and they have a bunch of games that are going on, and you can bet on those games. Not with real money, with fake money. And there's no, microtransactions or anything, so they're not, stealing from you. But you bet your fake money on the fake games, and then when you get bet well, you get more money. And that's sort of the basic mechanics of how the game works. Now you're probably wondering, Isaac, what am I gonna do with all this money I'm getting from my wonderful betting opportunities? Well, I'm about to tell you, because see, at the start of the game, you pick a team to support. There's lots of great teams in Blaseball. There's the Kansas City Breath Mints, there's the Canada Moist Talkers, there's the Seattle Garages, there's the Hellmouth Sunbeams, there's the Hawaii Fridays. Personally, I'm a supporter of the Yellowstone Magic. As above, so below. So you pick a team, and so let's say you pick the Yellowstone Magic, which is my team, and you want the Yellowstone Magic to be better. I know I want that because they currently suck. So you take all that hard-earned money that you got from gambling, and you use it to go to the shop and buy the right to vote. And once you buy the right to vote, you can buy votes. And what do you use those votes for? Well, there's this place called the election, where you can vote to change the entire rules of the game of Blaseball, or enter a raffle, where you get to maybe get better things for your team. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but the more money you spend on those things that you want, like say you want your team to just really like birds, then you put a lot of money in the birds, and maybe you'll get it. We didn't, but that doesn't matter. Well, you might be thinking, now, what is the point of all this? This is basically just a glorified betting simulator, you know? What's so special about this? There's nothing special about this. Well, my friend, you're wrong. You are completely and utterly wrong. It is so special you have no idea. Because for one thing, there's a supernatural twist. Because all sorts of weird things can happen, like umpires can set players on fire and then they're dead. Or it rains peanuts, and oh no, some of your players are allergic to peanuts and now they suck at everything. But second and most important thing is the lore. The lore of the game of Blaseball. Now, there's a fair amount of canon lore. There's a lot of things that are being uncovered steadily, like the giant peanut that sometimes shows up and delivers threatening messages that we don't really know much about. But what makes Blaseball a unique and fresh and spicy experience is that 90% roughly of the lore is made up by fans like you and me. When it comes to the players and the teams, really the only things that are canonical are their stats and their names. Everything else is made up by the fans. Now, there are, of course, some things that most people agree on, like how Seattle Garages player Jalen Hot Dog Fingers has fingers made out of hot dogs, but it's got room for you to come up with your own headcanons, and everybody's right, and nobody is more right than anyone else, and it's just an infinite number of headcanons and AUs. And sometimes the fans get so involved that they actually influence how the game works. Like, remember Jalen Hot Dog Fingers? Well, she died, but then they brought her back to life because enough players organized to do it. I don't know, I literally joined this week. I don't know what happened. And the community involvement leads to such interesting creative projects, like fan art, fan fiction. The Seattle Garages made a frickin' gosh dang album of music. It's a game. It's about the community. Now, some questions that you might have about Blaseball now that I've told you about Blaseball. Now, even though this game hasn't been out for very long, there's already quite a bit of lore, so you might be wondering, well, how am I gonna get into all the lore? Am I gonna get into all the lore? Is the lore gonna block me from having a fun time playing Blaseball? And the answer is, it's not gonna block you. I don't know 90% of what happens in Blaseball, and I'm having a grand time. I've just been continually surprised by things like, oh, there's a giant spinning peanut. Apparently that's happened before. Oh, there's a squid too. That's also apparently happened before. I'm new here, but I'm still having lots of fun, and that's the thing that is good. And so you are also gonna have a thing that is good, even if you don't dive deep into the lore all at once. Now, the other thing you might be wondering is, you look at how big the fandom is growing and, you might start to get worried, is this fandom going to become toxic? Is that a thing that's going to happen? All right, look. Historically speaking, when you look at fandoms for video games that are similar to the way that the Blaseball fandom is currently going, there's no way it is not going to become toxic. That's just kind of a given. That's, historically speaking, there is precedent. It is going to happen. The Blaseball fandom is probably going to become toxic. There's no way to avoid that. And while you will likely be able to find small pockets where it's less toxic, where you can find some friends who are chill about it, it's going to happen. There's no way it is not. And that's why you should join now, so that you can avoid that. You can have fun while it's still a fun thing to have fun with. Now, if I've successfully convinced you that Blaseball is a cool thing you should do, you might be wondering, how do I do Blaseball? Well, it's easy. You just go to blaseball.com and you sign up. Currently, nothing's going to happen because it's on a siesta, which is their official term for a hiatus, but you can get into it and prepare for when it does return. I do encourage you, though, to go to the Blaseball wiki, blaseball.fandom.com, before you sign up, so that you can sort of get a pulse on what team you want to join. And while you're at it, why don't you follow Blaseball on social medias? There's Twitter, there's Instagram. They've got a big Discord server with so many people. I'm not affiliated with Blaseball. I've just really been enjoying it, and I wanted to make this video because I want you to enjoy it too. So come on! You should do Blaseball! I can't believe I just spent over half an hour filming a Blaseball commercial.